It really is much more difficult now to take the Bible as the normative world for all people. That many circumstances have changed. It's often identified that there's a kind of a demise of Christendom up to maybe the Second World War, and even after. There was an assumption of the Christian message, that everybody sort of knew it, believed it, and in America that it was kind of the normative, even though we had separation of church and state, it was kind of the normative background for our ethics and our sense of community. We're all kind of Christians together in this. And really that changes after the Second World War, probably in the 60s. Is the decisive change, and it continues apace into our own time when we talk much more about pluralism. There's a recognition that not everybody in America is now Christian, that a lot of Christian values have come under attack because of what they have supported in the past, so that they're not self-evident, that they're seen as sometimes political decisions. And so this kind of presumption of an underlying Christendom where everybody works within the same framework, that's just not available any longer, and appropriately so. I mean, large Muslim community in America, growing Hindu community, Jewish community, all of these different communities with different traditions behind them need not to be subsumed to a Christian vision. They need their own voice, and that is the culture in which we now live, a pluralistic, and I think many of us feel that that's a very positive thing. We're not nostalgic for the time when we could just pronounce on things and everybody would nod their head and say that's right. Now it has to be a discussion. But it has to be a discussion, and Christians bring perspectives and values into that discussion that are part of our history, are part of our national value system, that are defensible on their own terms, that are not just simply sectarian views that are only appropriate within a small community. We're not asking everybody to become us, but that there are values that we bring. And I think what we do when we study Bible is we become far more clear on what those values are and how they interact with one another, and what kind of a vision they might have of a national community, even a pluralistic national community. And so that there is something that we bring to that discussion. And I think what we're doing as we reclaim our biblical tradition is just becoming clearer what that is and how it all fits together, and so that we can articulate it in the discussion of where our country is going, where our culture is going. Not only our country now, it's a world culture, so that we're in a much larger discussion with other parts of the world as well that don't share our Christian background at all. I mean, but that if we are to have an authentic and significant voice in that discussion, we have to know our own values, have to know our own traditions, and bring that, and not bring it in a defensive way, as if, well, this is just a side voice, but as a genuine offering to the discussion, as if we have something to contribute with some confidence. And I think that's where we are right now. And the biblical study is reinforcing that, providing the foundations for that kind of contribution.